Mar spórs he cria choirsnach gen ha bwy gorinach cawl ska chinis na hintine ga arach gin an gamanach go irin is trimme na an spórs ille. A fer ha ma enemal an gamanach geneste viach in die arigune a harin gun duyochi. A minach mar heen it be stridi cushion groen vlionigen.
I knew there was things wrong. My anxiety levels were incredible. I couldn't concentrate on anything. I just spent a whole year just angry. My wife, who was a mental health nurse, kept encouraging me to go to the doctor to seek some help. The year prior to that, I wouldn't have entertained it. I was being your typical, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm strong, I've always been strong, it's going to be fine. I knew that if I didn't try and do something, that I didn't know how the next couple of months were going to pan out. And the way I was feeling, it certainly wasn't going to be a good outcome for me or the family or anyone surrounding me. Work colleagues, friends, Shinty players, they were all clearly being affected by it.
En jij wil immerken jugus traumintje jugus jiffer hungien lees iachen haslie hemisch tran de pleodig in a gaai be gematte.
My symptoms kept getting worse. In November last year, I went into probably a depressive episode. I felt I wasn't good enough. I felt that I was pretty much poor at everything. Poor at my job, poor at being a husband, poor at being a dad. Everything was negative. I couldn't work it out. I couldn't see what the problem was. It's not physical. I've done the medication. I've done everything that the doctor asked of me. And then suddenly to get hit with something else, I thought, this isn't right. And probably between November and June of this year, I was okay. And then out of the blue, all of a sudden, I wasn't. I remember it very clearly, waking up one morning, coming to work, and from the night before of being okay to waking up that morning, I just didn't want to be here in any shape or form. I wanted all the feelings just to stop. I felt just unbelievably sad. I felt I'd done everything that I should have been doing. Again, I felt that I was trying my best to get on top of it. For me, the depression side of things really upset me, because it was the one thing that I kind of thought, I've got nothing to be upset about. You know, I've managed a successful Shinty team. I've got a beautiful wife, beautiful son, got a good job. I've got a lot of security in my life, great friends. The list goes on of all the positives, and when she mentioned the word depressive, that really upset me, because I kind of thought, I must just be really ungrateful, or just, what's wrong with me? You know, how could you be unhappy about things when you've got so much positives and happiness and success in your life?
Ha Seamus en este gaal came rash for Hamanach gerson grush, the gaal Kurum a wandje. Ha Mark Fleming voor Positive Mental Health Scotland be lyrike goersig in slaantje na hintjene, gepoinlen spars voor galappe na misk balkosjes rugby. He kujach en konalt rugby komen na Kamanach.
They're very cognisant of the fact that there's been a number of mental health issues within Scottish Shinty, notably some very sad suicides. And so they recognise that something needs to be done to draw awareness to the whole issue of mental health. I think there's a lot more emotional literacy and a lot more openness now about these things. The problem with mental illness is that if as a player you have a physical injury, so you tear your hamstring or twist your ankle, you know exactly what's happened, you can point to it, you can identify it, you can describe and articulate it, and you know who to go and see about it. But with the onset of a mental illness, sometimes you're the last person to realise that's in fact what it is. So it's ideal if you can have people at your club who recognise the signs and symptoms of poor mental health and then be that bridge to appropriate professional help.
A komende Kamanach, morgen let een duurige ham en kan je heen, ergens jiffer spoorsille, aan de biteliku, recussion slaantje, na heentjene.
We've been doing quite a piece of work during the year trying to look exactly at that question. We feel that we should be doing more, you know, so we have already signed up to physical activity charter, sports physical activity charter for the Scottish Association of Mental Health. We've been drafting out a number of health and wellbeing policies and support documents. I mean, part of what we'll do with the clubs is we're going to provide them with some resources that are around the sporting community at the moment. And these break it down into how can you help somebody with mental health issues. And I think that's probably the hardest part, is how does somebody feel that they can speak about it? And if somebody does start speaking to you about it, how do you respond to that in the proper manner that's going to help them? Also, we're very keen to show a pathway from clubs when they have people with an issue. Who should they be contacting in the local authorities around the country that will give them the right sort of support?
There is people out there who are struggling, but they don't necessarily know what the first step is. You know, I've had the support from my wife. I'm very lucky that my wife understands mental health issues very much. Very lucky that work's been supportive, that they've got mechanisms in place with HR department, with occupational health. Very lucky that my doctor was encouraging to not just give me medication, but understood that medication wasn't just going to solve my problem. It was, you know, trying to look at the wider aspect of my well-being. I don't think, you know, me trying to, you know, bring it more publicly aware is a show of weakness. I think it's probably a show of strength. Sport's got an opportunity to not just look after people or sportsmen physically, but I think there's an opportunity there for sport to educate. You know, it's all very well looking after the physical side of things, but how are you doing mentally? And I don't think that question gets asked a lot. I don't think it gets asked enough in not just sport, but I think in society. I mean, sport's a passion of mine, and I know for now I need to take a step back from it, but I will be back. You know, me wanting to come out and speak, you know, nationally about my mental health, it's not about my story, and I think that's quite important. It's what I'm hoping to achieve is that either someone's watching, Shinty related, non-Shinty related, and then start their journey. And if they can start their journey to a better mental health, then hopefully I can achieve something. It's about people, and like I said before, it's a very thin line between wanting to do something about it, to acknowledging it as a problem, to wanting to go take that first step to see the doctor, to the alternative. And that's what you don't want. So, yeah.